Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Nick. I am a neurology resident. I make videos about neurology residency, my faith, sometimes other things like running and stuff like that. I wanted to make a video today about suffering, witnessing suffering, and does it turn me away from God? Kind of a deep topic, right? Deep topic. Haven't really prepared for it, nothing to prepare for, just kind of wanted to talk off the cuff. So, does suffering, witnessing suffering in the hospital as a healthcare worker, as a doctor, does that turn me away from God? Short answer is no, but let me explain. So, in my 4 years of residency, in like one moment, I could be witnessing the most like joyful encounter ever. I could see someone that was like not able to speak, say aphasic, uh, weak on one half of their body, and then the next moment, the next hours later, they're doing much better based on medical treatment, and they're able to talk with their family and loved ones and actually understand what's going on. I've also witnessed patients dying drastically and suddenly and seen the impact of that on family members. So in one moment, and those things can happen in a 20-minute period, right? Like I could be called by the ER for one of those consults and then see another one of those consults 20 minutes later. And how do you wrap your head around that? So I think the first thing to realize anyway, is like healthcare workers see a lot of stuff. I don't think it's like normal or natural to witness that much, like a lot of tragedy in one day, and to do that again and again. So I always commend healthcare workers that, wow, like some of the strongest people I know, that they can do that and keep moving forward with their lives. So we see a lot of suffering, but we see a lot of joy. And then you have to wrestle with that question, um, just seeing like all that suffering like turn you away from God. I think some people it does, for sure. I think some people, they see that, you can get bitter, you can feel resentment towards God. Um, and I think for me, it's kind of been the opposite, actually, because in the moments of deep suffering that I've witnessed, where pain is like, I can't even imagine the pain I'm feeling and the pain the families are feeling, is where I see myself like clinging to God the most and looking to Him for peace and reassurance. And I've been given that peace, and I know, I hope families have as well. But whenever I turn to God in those moments, that's when I feel okay. And that's helped me the most with like my burnout, because I think with witnessing any suffering, you feel like there's no place to go. Like you don't know where you're going. You don't know how to like work through it. And yeah, you have family and you have friends, but it's sometimes a lot on them. So in the times where I haven't turned to God, where do I turn? I usually turn in myself. I like bury it in myself, and that never turns out well, um, because then you just honestly, you get depressed, you get anxious, you have more questions, confused. But the times where I've turned to God and I've told Him, and I like in any prayer, we can say like, God, I don't understand this. Like I don't understand why this is happening, but I trust you. And I've made a video on trust in healthcare, and I think that's the key to all of this, right? I think it's just a matter of trust. And witnessing suffering, I don't think has turned me away from God. I think it's made me trust Him more, because in the midst of all this pain and all this like agony that you witness, you know that only He can provide you peace. Only He can bring the peace into your life, into the peace of the lives of your patients. And I've learned to trust His plan in it. And surprisingly, the more I've witnessed, the more I've like had to push into His trust, because I've noticed that any other way is not going to get me where I want to go. And hoping in Him and trusting in Him is what gives me the peace, and it allows me to help the next person. Because if I didn't have a foundation in God in my work, I think it would be hard for me to move on to the next patient. He works for good in all things, and I firmly believe that. I trust in that. And So yeah, to answer the question, it would be no. I don't. Witnessing suffering has not turned me away from God as a healthcare worker. So just a little video. Let me know your thoughts, and just want to encourage you guys, keep living your life, keep living the faith in your work as physicians, healthcare workers, whatever you do.